right, so once again, Natalie, tell us what we're looking at and what are the goals of this beautiful flower trial?
Yeah, so this is actually just kind of a pre-trial year. I and some colleagues have a specialty crop block grant which will be focused on cut flowers. It actually doesn't start till this fall, but I kind of got excited and
naturally.
Yes, planted a few flowers this year. So in front of us we have a zinnia cultivar trial, and you can kind of also see back behind us the first planting of the sunflower trial. So when it comes to cut flowers, we have growers growing everything from bulbs to kind of these standard warm season annuals, and we were just kind of getting our feet wet with a few of the annuals this year.
Well, awesome. Well, this little look-see study, what can you say are your favorites to start off the summer?
Yeah, so this has been fun because it kind of gave us a chance to grow a range of cultivars and kind of look at size and stem count. So actually the plants and these were transplanted in the early part of May. So, we still have some pretty blooms, but they are on the downside of their season. But we've been able to kind of look at pest and disease issues to be able to plan next year and get a glimpse of a lot of different cultivars. So behind us, we can see these are an Oklahoma salmon. You can see kind of a smaller bloom size. Right here in front of us is Queenie Lime Red. We actually we did these.
I remember those ones. I loved them.
Yeah. So they're kind of our modern hip variety, if you will. And then we have some larger blooms. I actually picked these from a little bit further up in the trial. These are some Bennery large white, large orange, an all fall collection to start the trial. So what we've seen, not surprising, is that our stem count is higher on these smaller blooms, but we really just have, nice stems, beautiful blooms on some of these larger ones. So we want to be able to help growers kind of select the cultivars that give them what they need for their customer, for their growing situation.
All right, so here we have the sunflower portion of Natalie's cut flower trial. And once again, tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah, so this is actually the second planting of sunflowers. These are just a beautiful piece of the trial. I've had so much fun growing these this year. And once again, just kind of a pre-trial, getting ready for next year. But we're actually standing in a spot that really shows us some of the difference between the types of cultivars that we have, options for growing for sunflowers. So for cut flowers, it's been a huge area of growth over the last few years. And what we have are really beautiful examples of branching. So you can see this is buttercream. This is one of my favorites. Multiple stems here, multiple blooms, and that would be what we would think of as kind of traditional. Okay. There are some non-traditional elements of a cultivar like this because lower pollen, for good kind of cut flower, don't drop a lot of pollen on the table. These are day neutral, so you can see they're performing well in the later part of the season, but a pretty traditional look, and these will continue to grow. Mm-hmm. Right next to us we have an example. This is Double Quick Orange, just starting to bloom, and this would be a single stem, right? So this is kind of
so just one flower per stem on these.
Yeah, and this would be kind of what has been bred more for florist quality, and so you can get as long a stem as you want. Actually, these would be probably about where folks would be starting to pick them. You can store those in a cooler until they're really ready to go. So this is kind of a good contrast.
So we want to give you a little bit of a tour of some of our cultivars. This first trial year was a combination of branching and single stem, pollen and pollenless, and we just want to show you a few snapshots. This is a single stem pollenless cultivar called Sunrich Summer Provence, very classic look. You can see there another single stem. This is Pro Cut White Knight, and you can see that would actually be pretty close to harvest right there. One of our smaller or dwarf cultivars that we had in the trial, this is Firecracker, which is also pollenless and just about a 3-foot tall plant. Another one on quite the short side, a 1 to 3 foot tall plant that's low pollen, would be Teddy Bear, really common for our gardeners. Still on that double, but now we're talking about a taller single stem. This is Double Quick Orange. And now we move more into the branching cultivars that we had in our trial. This is Buttercream, which is typically a 4 to 5 foot plant. You can see they're multi-stem, a whole lot of blooms, a really pretty clear, very, very light yellow, a day-neutral cultivar, so really widely adaptable. Another one of the branching cultivars that we really enjoyed in the trial, we've actually grown this before in some of our home garden variety trials in previous years, but this is actually Strawberry Blonde. So, like buttercream that we just talked about, Strawberry Blonde is a day neutral. It is also branching, and it is low pollen or pollenless, and you can just see the really pretty contrast of those petals there, flowers of various sizes. And to kind of close out our tour, this is a beautiful deep red burgundy. This is Rouge Royale. So once again, you can see the branching habit, but the really deep, beautiful color on this pollenless cultivar. So hope you've enjoyed this tour of just a few of the cultivars in our flower trial.
Well,
Yeah.
Brooke, it's really been fun to be able to show y'all a little bit of a snapshot of some of what I'm doing here at the research farm.
Thank you again.
Yep.